Hey there internets, today on Toucan Play That Game I'm going to teach you how to play Ice Cool by Brain Games. So the first thing we're going to need to do is build the school. So empty out your box because the bottom of the box here is going to be the school. And you can see it's actually nestled like some sort of Russian doll thing. So take out all the different parts. Then you need to line up the coloured dots that are on the doorways. So here we've got a light blue. Where's a light blue? There's a light blue. So we can go like this. And there we have one corner. Then this piece here, we've got a grey there, which lines up with the grey here. And we've got a red over here, which lines up with this red here. And then we've got purple, green and yellow all lining up nicely there. But obviously this is a bit jubbly, wiggly, so we need to make it a bit more secure. To do this, you want to get out the natural coloured fish. And in several of the corners, you can see these black semicircles which have like the image of the fish head on them. So you just want to clip one of these on there and that will help hold it all together. Then each player will need to pick their colour. So we're going to set up for a two-player game with the red and blue here. So we'll get rid of the other colours. And we'll give each player their appropriate ID card, their penguins, and then we also need to have ready the 3 wooden fish of each player's colour. Then place one of each player's fish on each of the doorways that's marked with a fish semicircle. So there should be 3 different spots and you should have one of each colour fish there. Finally, before you'll be ready to play, you'll need to get your fish cards and just shuffle them all up and have a draw pile near the table ready. So with the table all set up, it should look something like this. The next thing you need to do is pick who's going to be your catcher first. Because there are 2 different roles in this game, you have the normal penguins who are trying to collect fish in a round, and you have the catcher who's trying to catch the other penguins. The aim of the game is to have the highest total value of fish in front of you at the end of the game. And the game will be made up of a number of rounds equal to the number of players in a 3 or 4 player game, or in a 2-player game it will be made up of 4 rounds. So in a 3 or 4 player game each player will have 1 turn being the catcher, and in a 2-player game each player will have 2 turns being the catcher. There are then 2 different ways that a round can end. Either one player has collected all the fish of their colour from the doorways, that will end the round, or the catcher has caught all the penguins in the round. Having decided who your catcher is, they'll then place their penguin somewhere in the kitchen here, which is box number 2, and they can place it anywhere they want. And so we'll say blue is the catcher and they're just going to go right here so that they can kind of aim through all the doorways. Then, starting with the player to the left of the catcher, they'll place their penguin on the red dot in the classroom. They'll then take their turn, which will involve flicking the penguin to move it around. 1 flick equals 1 turn, and then play passes to the next player. So the catcher then flicks their penguin. If you were playing a 3 or 4 player game, you would of course had multiple penguins starting from the red dot there. The aim of the game for the person who is the catcher is to catch the penguins. So in a situation like we have here, if it was now the blue player's turn, they want to try and hit the red penguin. When they hit it, it counts as catching. if the red player's turn they hit the blue player who was the catcher, that still also counts as being caught. When you catch a player, you take their ID card off of them. That doesn't then mean they're out of the round. They can still go round trying to collect their fish until the catcher has caught all the penguins. Now, in a two-player game, obviously there's only one penguin to catch, but they have to catch that penguin twice. And once they've caught it once, they reset. So the catcher goes back to the kitchen and the penguin will start their turn from the red dot in the schoolroom again. So let's see if I can manage to catch this red penguin here. Yay, I managed it. So I would get his ID card and we'd reset. Now it's important to note here, where we're starting outside of this red line against the wall, we can actually choose to move the penguin so that it is on the nearest point of the red line. So that's the goal of the catcher, to catch the penguins. Well, what's the goal of the penguins who are skipping class then? Well, it is to collect the fish that are on these doorways. And the way they'll do that is by passing through the doorway. So let's imagine the catcher is off over this way somewhere, out of the way. And it's the red player's turn. They can then move to the red line. Obviously the red line here is hidden by the table, but it does count as carrying on underneath that table. They then take their turn. So they need to go through the doorway all the way through to the next room. Now, if they get stuck kind of halfway through, which is possible, as you can see, they're not a perfect fit, that doesn't count. They would then end up moving back to the line to try on their next turn. But let's see if I can do this. Yay, nice, easy, straight through. So I would take the fish off of there and sit it in front of me. And I would also get to draw a fish card. So in this case, it was a 2. As well as being points, it's important to note that these 1 point fish cards, if you ever have 2, you can reveal them, which doesn't cost you the points. It just means that people know that you only had 1 point cards, because otherwise these are kept secret. So you don't know how well you're doing compared to the other players. But by revealing 2 1s, you get to take another turn immediately. You can do this as the catcher or as one of the fish collectors. So you keep doing your turns until the round ends, either because the fish collector collected all their fish or the catcher managed to catch all the penguins. Then at this point, each player who has an ID card will get 1 fish card for every ID card. So this is kind of a catch-up mechanic for the catcher. So if they caught 2, then they'll get 2 cards, and they'll always get at least 1 because they'll have their own ID card, which counts. Now, a big part of the fun of this game comes from trying to do trick shots. So apparently if you hit it on the side, it kind of rolls. Yeah, it kind of worked there. It kind of worked. I like that. And you should be able to make it jump by flicking its head. Yeah, that didn't work. Flicking its head. Okay, that jumped a little. But it's possible to have it jump all the way over a wall. Now this is important because if I was trying to collect my fish from this doorway here, if I jump over that doorway like so, that doesn't count. I have to go under. I can't go over. And you'll keep going like this until you have played out all of the rounds. Then you just total up your fish cards and whoever has the most wins the game. So that is how you play Ice Cool. I do hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do check out the rest of the videos on the channel, as well as subscribing to the channel and sharing it with your friends and family. And do also take a look at us on social media. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.